Anyone who runs a couple years in high school and really tries and puts forth the effort and the training and dedication and the consistency, they can break 18 minutes. A lot can break 17 minutes. Very few ever get under 16 minutes. When we're young, when we're kids, we're told that we can do anything. Anything we set our mind to, anything that we want. I feel like as we get older, we adjust our goals to better match what we think reality is for us, what we think is actually possible. Ever since I was in high school, I remember that sub 16 minute 5K was like the goal, the holy grail, because I would do these races, and in high school and freshman year I was running like low 19s by the end of the year, and eventually I improved and the best I was able to do in high school was 16:39, which is pretty good, but I wasn't like overall satisfied with that because I always wanted to run under 16. I feel like it's human nature to see others and want to have what they have or do what they do. So you see someone win a race in high school and they run 15:45 or something, and you're just like, oh my god, if only I could do that. So that was always my goal, was break 16. The problem is you have two types of runners. You have the runners who break 16 in high school and then have a chance at running Division 1. Or, I'm not saying sub 16 is necessarily all you need to do, but I'm just saying runners with that kind of ability go on to run Division 1. And then the runners who are slower either run D2, D3, or they don't run in college at all, or they have to run on their own. And it's very hard. There's like a splitting point around that barrier, that time barrier. So for most of us that don't run in college, or like I chose my education, so I went to a Division 1 school, a good school, but obviously Division 1 I wasn't good enough. Wasn't even good enough to try out. So I had to run on my own. And it's very hard to run on your own and improve, especially at the shorter events like 5K, because you need to do workouts for that. And doing workouts on your own is very difficult. To push yourself to that limit, it's better to have a team around you. And a lot of us don't think about that until we're no longer running on a team, and then we go, oh my gosh, like running is so different on your own. And I've adjusted to it over the years. A few years after high school, so in college, I was running with a high school team, Leon High School, shout out to you guys, and I was able to lower my PR to 16:29, so 10 seconds faster than high school, which was great. But I was training a lot. I was training really hard, and I didn't really know how could I get 30 seconds faster. Didn't seem possible, especially ever since after high school I started having problems with shin splints, which some people can probably relate to. There's tons of videos online about how to cure shin splints, and no matter what I did, I got shin splints anytime I tried to run like workouts or races, things that were like 5K pace or faster. So how can you get faster at a distance where every time you try to race or train at that pace or faster, you get shin splints? And when you have shin splints, it slows you down. It hurts for days. So it was really painful. And then later, after high school, I got diagnosed with asthma. So after high school, I had asthma, shin splints that I never had in high school, and a few years later, I started getting like a tight hamstring pulls from doing speed. So all these factors, I was like, oh my god, like I just thought like it's never gonna happen for me. So over the years, I started focusing on other things, doing half marathons, triathlons, ultimate frisbee leagues, basketball, intramurals, like anything else that would make me feel like I was doing something that was fun, competitive, challenging. But for a while, I kind of gave up on the 5K. I really did. And then, so like I said, and a couple years after high school, I ran a 16:29. So then in Hawaii, a few years later after that, I think it was 2000, 12 or 13, 7 or 8 years after high school. 7 or 8 years after high school. That's an eternity. I was training and I broke 10 in the 2 mile, which you guys may have saw the video on YouTube. It's muted now because I had a Kanye West song on it. Like, screw you, Kanye. But I broke 10. I was like, oh my God, okay. And I started thinking about sub 16 again. So I was like, okay, I think I could do it. I tried, did it in the rain, had a tight hamstring that wasn't fully healed. I did it by myself, and I got shin splints 1.5 miles in. That slowed me down. And I ended up running a 16:24. So it was a 5-second PR, but again, a lot of effort, a lot of pain, a lot of training, very small improvement. So again, I was like, oh, I guess I can't do it. So let's fast forward now. October 2017, so just last year, late last year, I was training for my first ultra marathon. I was turning 31 years old, so I was an old fuddy-duddy. And I did a random 3-mile workout with the local college club team here. And I ran a 16:24 pace for 5K for 3 miles. So basically 16:24, 5K, which matched my PR. And even though it wasn't a PR, I did it with no speed training. I pretty much was just running mileage. So I was like, that's interesting. Okay. So after the ultra, I started upping my training. What I did was I was doing 50 miles a week, only 50 miles a week, okay? But throwing in speed work twice a week, at least once a week, twice a week, ideally. A lot of, all my speed workouts are progression runs and fartlegs. That's it. I don't like doing 400 meter repeats or 800 meter repeats with all this rest in between where you're just sitting there and you run way faster than the 5K pace. Oh, do that so you're more efficient and it's easier at 5K pace. I can't. I get shin splints the faster I go, and I feel like you do a workout where you rest for a few minutes, like static rest where you're not jogging like you would be for a fartlek. You allow your heart rate to get so far down that it doesn't simulate what it would feel like in a race. So great, I can run mile repeats with 3 or 4 minute rest at 5K pace. So, am I gonna rest after each mile in the race? No. So fartlegs, I feel like, are way more effective. Not only do they help you work on your endurance, they help you work on your speed. So I love fartlegs. They turn you into a cardio monster, basically. So I do a lot of fartlegs, 2 minutes on, 1 minute off. You know, with the 2 minutes on is 5K to 10K pace. The 1 minute off is maybe a minute slower than marathon pace. And I just do that for like 10 miles. Or Yasso 800s, but not as a marathon predictor workout, just as a workout. Doing the 800s at around 5K pace, and then the rest, which is the same amount of time that you ran. So running around 230, 235 for the 800, and then doing the rest in about 230 jog. So again, fartlek. Those are the kind of workouts I did. Sometimes I did hill workouts, but that's it. So I was going to do a whole series about the quest to break the 16-minute 5K and have a whole series of videos about it. And like had this like time lapse of my training and results and all this stuff. And I started it, and I had big plans, but I never followed through enough to really finish it or work too much on it. Because deep down, I thought I was wasting my time. Because I thought that I would never break 16 minutes. I thought it was a foolish pipe dream that wouldn't happen for me. And I just, I thought, what good is making a series if you end up failing, right? I'm not going to have a quest to 16 and never do it. So I was like, I was afraid to make the series and then it never happened. And then have a bunch of junk footage. So I kind of didn't follow through with all that. Then I randomly jump into a 5K 2 weeks notice. And 2 weeks is not a lot of time because at that point, you're either ready for the 5K or not. You can't really get into 5K shape that quickly. So just by doing my normal speed workouts, as you guys know, I've been crushing the half marathons. I signed up for the Oxy distance festival, which was on March 10th, just passed last weekend. Shout out to, I think his name is CD Runner or COD Runner. He told me about the meet actually. I've heard about it, but he gave me a heads up. Hey, this meet's coming up. You need to sign up. So I signed up, did the 5K. I unfortunately did not lie about a lot of people. I forgot. I haven't done a track race in so long. I forgot that most people lie about their seed times. Either they're foolishly optimistic or they put their PR from several years ago that they can't touch now. I don't know what they do. Or just to get into fast seed, they just straight out lie. Flat out lie. But anyway, I put 16:20 as my seed time just because I figured I was somewhere around that shape. Never running faster. I mean, I did it. Okay, there was one time, a long time ago in Hawaii, 2013 I think, I ran a 15:45 without a watch, but it wasn't a 5K, it was short. There were people who said it was 3.05, people who said it was 3, and people who said it was 2.9. And I went with the highest number. Oh, it's 3.05, okay, someone said it was 3.05. That's a 16:02 pace. And I for a while, I sort of pretended that was my PR, but deep down I knew that it wasn't really legitimate. And it always kind of bugged me, not just because I didn't have an official PR, but because I knew it wasn't under 16. And I wanted to do it for real. So I signed up. Unfortunately, with my slow seed time, I was in heat 6 of 6. So the last heat, the fast heat, the winners were 14, 15. And then as I was watching the races, I noticed that the heats were not as fast as they should have been. So I knew at that point that if I had any shot at breaking 16, I was going to have to do it by myself because no one in my heat would be close. And I was right. And it was in the rain. It was pouring rain. I had my brand new, fresh out of the box Nike Zoom racing flats, which were nice. I had my compression socks on to help with shin splints, which they do help. And I had, because it was 6 days after my half marathon in Arkansas, I didn't think I'd be recovered. So I wore compression tights as well, just to help with muscle soreness in my quads. So I had basically just a full body compression. And, you know, when the race started, it was a waterfall start. And I wanted to be on the outside because I'm kind of claustrophobic about getting tripped and everything, but because my hip number was hip number 4, I had to be on the inside. It was by rank. So I got kind of cut off in the beginning, and I had to kind of slowly move my way up in the field. The first 400 meters went through in 71 seconds, which is too fast, but that's to be expected with all the adrenaline. Track races always go out fast. A 16-minute 5K is I think it's 76.8 seconds per quarter. So you have to run faster than that. So 71 is too fast though. So after that, you know, a lot of times what happens when you see the clock and you hear the split and it's too fast, not only is the adrenaline wearing off, but you also subconsciously slow down because you know you went out too fast. So the whole field slowed down. Second lap was a 78, which is too slow. So I was in 5th at that point. So at that point, I made a move around the outside, took the lead, and set my own pace. And after that, every lap, props to Scott for calling out every split, I was hitting 76s like clockwork. And I didn't really know that I would be able to hold it. I just would run to make sure that I kept hearing 76s and do whatever I could to stay on pace and see what would happen. And I was either gonna blow up in a blaze of glory, or I was gonna hit the time. But I was not gonna fall short because of a lack of effort or a lack of courage to try. Just stayed focused, didn't look back, didn't look at my watch, just listened for the splits every lap, and just focused straight ahead, kept my cadence up, and just tried to relax. And with 800 meters to go, I knew that unless I got a stomach cramp or something, I had it in the bag. And I ran the last 800 meters in 2:31, and I ran a 15:54.66. So I was on pace for 10 and a half laps, and then the last 2 laps I picked it up and got some cushion. So I don't know how it happened. I'm totally blown away. I still can't believe it. The crazy thing is, I did that 5K, so that's a 5:07 per mile pace. I did that 5K with speed workouts where my fastest speed was around that pace, not really faster. A lot of progression runs where I would finish in 5:12 or something. So it's just interesting that I did that. It makes me rethink like training strategies, basically. So how I did it, how I went from being able to run, a 16:24 down to a 15:54, a 30-second improvement, which is huge for someone who's been running for 20 plus years. To improve PR all of a sudden by 30 seconds is a lot in a few months. So all I did, I kept my running the same, 50 miles a week, 50 to 55 miles a week, 2 speed workouts a week. I was doing triathlon training, so a lot of cross training, which is how I got the extra cardio benefit that just put me in crazy shape. Now for weight training, instead I bike, and biking gives you leg muscles, and that helps because running breaks your muscles down, so it helps avoid injury. Plus it's a good cardio workout, and it's way more fun than going to the gym and lifting weights. That's not fun, that's boring to me. I love cardio. So I did that. So I do like 2-3 bikes a week. Then I also swam, and swimming I think is the best cross training. I've made a video before about this, best cross training for runners, and it's swimming. Because if you're a runner at heart and you didn't grow up swimming like for a team or on some club, like you're not going to be a good swimmer, because they're totally different sports. But swimming gives you such a good cardio workout, and you get like core work from it, and arm work. So in training sometimes maybe your legs are dead from a hard run, and you're like, well, I want to train but I can't run, like my legs are just sore. Jump in the pool for 30 to 45 minutes, whatever you can do. You might have to build up, and you'll get the same benefit, cardio benefit, that you'd get running, but you didn't actually hurt your legs, and actually you'll feel better when you get out than you did when you started. And also, doing the same thing all the time, your body gets used to it, and you don't get the same benefit from it. You have to keep your body guessing, change up your training, try new things. So I love swimming for the benefits, and also it's always hard. Like swimming's never easy like it is. I'd rather run 10 miles than swim 2 miles. See what I'm saying? Like swimming's way harder for me, because I'm not a natural swimmer. So I always get a benefit. If something is challenging, that's good because it helps you grow as an athlete or as a person. I prefer the longer distances. I'm not much of a 5K guy. So I'm happy with my time for now. But I will tell you this. Whatever goal you set, okay, you'll have this holy grail goal. So for me, it was a sub 16. Never thought it would happen. Just be aware that when you set it, you will not be satisfied once you beat it. Because one thing about a goal-oriented person, a double-edged sword, about a goal-oriented person, is you're always thinking about the next big thing. So as soon as you hit your goal, you don't spend much time dwelling on it and being all proud. Like, you're like, okay, I did this, now I want to do this. Like, you're always just aiming higher. So just remember that, like, accomplishing a goal, although it feels great, it's not like this defining moment where, doves are gonna descend from the clouds, and you're gonna get keys to the city and everyone's gonna worship you, like, and you're gonna feel like your life is complete. Like, it's not. You're gonna be happy for a few hours, and then you're gonna be like, what else can I do? So just keep that in mind. Just want to put it in perspective. But oh my god, I feel legit. And I did it solo, which is kind of symbolic, because sometimes running is a solo sport, especially when you're not on a team. All those hours training alone, after work, going to bed when my girlfriend was already asleep, getting up before she wakes up, Just burning the candle at both ends, basically, at some point, sometimes. So it just goes to show you, like, you don't necessarily have to run more to run faster. I know I've always been a proponent of lower mileage, higher intensity, because I'm the kind of runner that is injury prone if I run high mileage. I can't handle it. Some people can do it, and that's great for them. I hope that works for them. But for me specifically, I can't run 100 miles a week. And I don't feel like you have to hit your goals, because I'm proof right here that I ran a 1:13 half marathon, a high 15-minute 5K, 50 miles a week. 50 miles a week. I've been running the same mileage my whole life, and I've never hit times like this, just by adding in a bunch of cross training. That doesn't make you injury prone. All it does is make you stronger and make you more well-rounded. I just want to leave you guys with that little tidbit to dwell on, and to show you that there are other ways to success. Like, and don't, I feel like I'm more qualified and relatable to give this advice, because I'm right there with you guys. Like, I struggle with this a long time, and so I know what it takes for the average person to get to this level. I started out my first 5K when I was 8 years old. I ran a 24:08. I think one of the problems with goal setting is we look for advice in the wrong places. We'll watch a video about Mo Farah talking about what he eats for breakfast, and that just doesn't that's not going to help you run faster, unless you're eating cupcakes for breakfast. But I mean, if you're doing that, then you know what, you kind of brought it on yourself. I feel like those elite athletes that run 13-minute 5Ks, I don't think we can really learn much from them. It's cool to marvel at what they can do, but I think it's more beneficial to look at someone who's on your level or near your level that improved, and be like, what did you do? What did you do to improve, to get where I was to where you are now? Because then it's like a clear path of how you can get there.